A very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. Florida Cricket Oval is the venue for this afternoon's encounter between the Katosi Strikers and the Kiyindi Blasters. Let us see what happened out there in the middle for the toss. Good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. Out here in the middle at Florida Cricket Oval, it is still the SABULA T20 Cricket Challenge. The contest going to happen in the afternoon is between the Kiyindi Blasters, and I'm here with their captain Ian Bamturaki, and the Katosi Strikers with their captain Adam Kasim. Umpire Liz Nachibule will conduct the toss.
This will be heads, this is tails.
Tails is the call.
And it's heads.
Heads. Ian, you have won the toss. What are you going to do?
We shall bat first.
Any particular reason why?
Basically because our team is probably good on the batting side and like the fielding side, so yeah, that's it.
What would be a good score for your side?
Basically our score right now, we are timing above 120, more than 120. That will be our score, because it will be a little hard for them to chase because of the absence of their captain Robert Ajuna, who has been scoring most of the runs. So we're looking to having our first win today.
Anybody in and out in the team?
Yeah, we're still lacking our top order, Momuza Daniel, but we made some little changes, bringing in Emetu to come in with Conrad in the opening to give a power play score.
Good luck to you, gentlemen. Adam Kasim, you lost that toss. They have chosen to bat. What would you have done?
I was also going to bowl fast because I always bowl fast and I win the games, and we shall be able to make them score a total below 80 runs, so that it can be easily for us to chase it.
Give us insights into your team. Anybody in or out?
No changes in our team. As the winning team every day, busy like.
Okay, good luck to you, gentlemen. From out here in the middle, the Blasters have won the toss and decided to bat. Yes, live action will be coming up shortly from the middle, and we will be starting in from the forest end. I'm not alone in the comms box, but with Emmanuel Trijuche. Welcome, Emma.
Thanks, King Soso. Right here in the middle we have the Katosi Blasters won toss and opted to bat first. Out there in the middle we have Emetu Paul opting to open the bat, and Conrad.
The Blasters, the only team yet to register a win in this tournament. They have tried, but first things first, that will be the first ball of this encounter. Tomadupu goes wide.
That's a bad start from a bowler. You'd want to be bowling in the middle, looking for wickets with a new ball. But nevertheless, just a first ball.
Some correction from Tomadupu, goes further down the leg. No Lego ball yet to be bowled so far, but Tomadupu looking good in this competition, right at the top of the charts in the bowling. 14 wickets to his name so far in 8 innings. At an average of just 4.64. He changes to right arm round to create that angle, but further strays. The two umpires out there in the middle today are Hope Tandeka, other non-strikers, and Trevor Makchanja. right at the very start of their umpiring careers. No slips and gully in, but point in and covers a mid off and mid on, a wide-ish mid wicket, sends out the men to fine leg and third man with fielding restrictions. Should be a 20 overs affair, unlike the contest in the morning. Good line, draws the man forward, and that will be a dot ball, the first Lego ball of this innings.
He's there struggling to find his line, but once he gets that line, he's usually a guy who tends to put it in the 3/4 line. That's one good thing about him. With that height, you'd want to harness that bounce off the field, keep the batters guessing, creating more pressure on them. He edges off that one for single, bringing Conrad to strike. Ooh, what a check from there from Tomadupo, keeping Conrad guessing. A new man on the crease, so you have to check him to find if at all he has the driving license. That was a good bounce off the ground. Something you'd want your bowlers to be doing often in the first over. At this point, you would be bowling with a slip, but there's no slip out there, and looking for the outside edge, but in the end, it's a dot ball direct to the wicket keeper. Conrad Lubama driving straight to the screen just for a single, getting off strike with a 1. Still more balls to come from Tomadupo. First over done, 6 off the first. Conrad 1 of 3 balls. Paul Matthews having 2 of 3. A spinner comes on to a ball from the highway end. I'm surprised the bowling without a covers. It's a good ball from Eric Mukisa. You don't want your ball, the batter going back on the back foot. You'd want to bring them forward, keep them playing from the front. That's one way you'd get their wicket. Umpire calls wide. Here comes Ivan Sajabe, who has joined me from his lunch. Welcome, Ivan.
Thank you so much, Emma. And I'm happy to be here. It's a clash between the Kiyindi Blasters, who were at the wrong side of results yesterday, and the Katosi Strikers, who won. Eric Muksa with the ball in hands, coming in from the road end. 8 for no loss. The Kiyindi Blasters look like a team too good on paper, but then coming into the tournament, they have been not getting things going. 1 off 3 for Conrad Luama, and Paul Emetu has 3 off 5.
Don't you think it's a strange field for a spinner to bowl in the Powerplay without a covers?
I think he needed a cover, because when the balls are angling in for the batter, there are those leading edges that always come off the bat. But then he's trying to bowl a lot onto the borderline, meaning he'll use a lot that short fine leg fielder and the fielder at mid wicket. But there is a lot of cover, and there is a lot of space there at covers. Anything driven to there can be runs. Into the crease and just dabbed it down. Another dot ball for Eric Mukisa. Projected score 108. If they move at the same rate of scoring, trying to force it into that gap at covers, but doesn't really get it past the fielder, and it results into another dot ball. One more ball to play in this over. The current run rate is 4.91. They will need to accelerate from here on. Off the wrist. Use of the wrist there, off the hip. Just a single. And that marks the end of the over. After 2 overs, 10 for no loss is the score.
As a leg spinner, you'd want to be bowling with a slip in the power play, because you're trying to make the batters come forward and play, make those mistakes, creating chances for your team. But since this is a leg for youngsters to keep learning, I'm sure we'll be able to see them apply. Tom Adupo continues from the forest end, bowling to Paul Emetu.
Tom Adupo and Paul Emetu started from the same school, St. John's High School, Kauga. He just went for 6 runs in his first over, and he's coming back for the second over. He'll be bowling right arm round the wickets, trying to make sure that he gets those balls bowled close to the body, and then they keep drifting away from the batter. The standing umpires in the game, Trevor Makachanja and Hope Tandeka. The wicketkeeper guilty of not stopping that one. Tom Adopo trying to put that into play, and the comedy of errors. They pushed quickly for 2 runs, and in the end, Paul Emetu is run into traffic. The wicketkeeper in Jonathan Nyenya removing the bails, and the first wicket for the Kiyindi Blasters goes.
That run out was uncalled for. That was poor running between the wickets. You see a fielder having the ball in the hand and you still attempt to run. It's very uncalled for.
Yeah, even running off a misfield is risky, but not the first time we are saying Eme to get out, run out. He was run out in the previous game. So meaning he's been always not running well. Disappointed and dejected as he makes the long walk back. The first wicket goes.
Back in the days, our coaches used to say, as soon as you get run out in a very stupid way, back in the days, our coaches used to say, you get run out in a very stupid way. There you have to run until the innings are done. I'm sure if his coach says that, should be able to make him run around the pitch for that. That's one way they get to learn of their mistakes.
And actually, a run out is like a free wicket given to the opposition. When you look at the situation of the match, there was no pressure for pushing so much for that run, but they push hard for it. And in the end, Paul Emetu pays for the price. The projected score 102. They'll be hoping that they can get some runs, get it slightly over that. But Viglio Odeke, wicketkeeper batter, is the new batter who makes his way to the crease for the Kiyindi Blasters.
You do realize Tom is about six something feet tall, and still a young man.
And he uses his height well when bowling to go for those hard hits. He bowls express throw pace. Clear when you see that ball drifting away from the batter. Tom Adopo just hitting the good areas. The ball is drifting away from Viglio Odeke. Viglio Odeke trying to play the cut shot, but not making any contact. And another dot ball there from Tom Adopo. Fine over for him. He started with a wicket, 2 dot balls, and he's made sure that there is some pressure being applied to the Kiyindi Blasters batters.
At this point, the more pressure he puts on the openers, you find they'll have to struggle.
He uses the wrist and plays that one away, putting it into the gap, and finally picks up a run. Conrad Ruama 2 off 3, Viglio Odeke 1 off 3, as they keep building back the game. 2 more balls to play in the over by Tom Adopo. A run out on the very first ball of his over. Balls him right away. A straight ball through the gates of Conrad Ruama. He wanted to access the gap on the Ion side. Misses closing out on it. And in the end, the furniture is rearranged.
I'm guessing he must have expected Tom to keep bouncing the ball at the 3/4 line. And unfortunately for him, Tom had to bowl it fuller in the stumps, rearranging his stumps. What a ball from Tom Adopo.
The second wicket, Conrad Ruama departing, not managing to work that one away from the block hole, and in the end he pays for the price. 2 wickets in this over, a run out on the first ball. Paul Emetu going back to the heart, and that's the replay. Express pace. Conrad Ruama swinging hard but not anywhere close. He lost his shape in trying to go for that shot, and in the end the furniture is rearranged. The Kiyindi Blasters losing another wicket early. Now it's more pressure. One more ball to play in this over. Projected score now dropping to 85. Innings have failed to get going. The 2 openers for the team have been sent back, Paul Emetu and Conrad Ruama, and the 2 new men, Vigirio Odeke, and the man who is just walking in will be right at the crease. Boji Julius is the new batter who has made his way to the crease. I love that line from Tom Adupo, just making sure that the ball drifts away from the batter, and he manages to wrap up a very fine over with a dot ball. 2 wickets falling in that over, a run out, and Conrad Ruama being bowled. Just 2 runs in the over, and as we come to the end of the third over, the scoreboard reads 12 for a loss of 2 wickets.
After his first over, he bounced the ball so hard that he tried to scare off the batters. I'm guessing his strategy must have worked, that he had to bowl fuller in his second over. It's good thinking.
Yeah, you never get off a working plan, and you never get off the winning. You never change the winning formula. Mukisa Eric returns for his second over. His first over has gone for 4 runs. And now he'll be coming in to bowl to Vigirio Odeke. And when you look at his field setup, he's using a man at cow corner. Short cover and covers all packed. Comes right arm round the wickets and manages to drift the ball away from Odeke.
With 2 new batters on the crease, I'm guessing he should be using a slip at this point. His cover point is a little bit misplaced.
And I tell you, when you put a cover in place, you add some pressure to the batter. You will force him to stay in the crease, and you also force him to try and drive. Driven down the ground, a run taken right under the nose of that fielder in Nathan Serunjoji. He needed to react a little bit quick to cut that one off, but in the end, they take the run under his watch. Full toss, not dispatched away by Martin Iwoji. Martin Iwoji is the captain for St. Cornelius SS Kalagala boys team. He put up a show last year against King's College Wudo. That game which was played at Wudo to decide who qualifies as the 5th team from the Central Region. Kenneth Ogendot was the other bowler who was making some good hard work, but victory not going the way of St. Cornelius Kalagala, and they missed out on what could have been a close chance. But what a fine spell coming in from Eric Mukisa, making sure that there's nothing for Boji to drive. 4 dot balls in the over. Oh, the umpire signals that was wide. The call coming in a bit late, but I love the thinking from Mukisa, just bowling it wide close to that off stump line to put the edge of the bat into play, and beats him for all money. That's what he was looking for.
It's keeping the batter guessing, bowling both in and out. something good he should be doing. The other day, Eric Mukasa suffered.
Full toss and dispatched away. Cardinal Sin, you can't bowl a full toss. Great use of the feet, accessing that one. And Martin Woji pierces it through to extra cover, beating all the fielders, and it's a boundary.
18 for 2 after 4 overs. The other day, Eric Mukasa suffered and
Tom Adopo back for his third over. His 2 overs have been very economical. Just 8 runs from the 2 overs that he has so far bowled. And he has a wicket in his spell already. He managed to roll one. Sorry about that. He managed to roll one through, seeing Conrad Luwama bowled. And now he returns back with that express pace. Starts off the over with a dot ball. Vigrio Odeka with the 2 off 6. And I tell you, Tom Adopo and Vigrio Odeka play for the same cricket club in the domestic league, Africa Cricket Club. They also started from the same school, St. John's High School, Kaunga. So between them, there is an interesting battle that all the fans will be eyeing to watch. And finally, Bat receives ball, and Vigrio Odeka is off strike. There could have been a chance of taking the second run, but because they've already lost a wicket to a run out, they are now having some bit of cold feet because they don't want to take the risks and lose many. Third man and final leg down. That is driven straight to the fielder. Kasim Adam could have done better, tries a direct hit, but misses. And the batter sneaked through for the run, but quite risky because that ball was right under the watch of Kasim Adam. It could have quickly resulted into a run out dismissal. But from Namibia, where Uganda, the cricket craze, the senior men's cricket team of Uganda will be taking on Namibia A in the first T20. Uganda has won the toss and opted to bat first, and that game will be starting at 3 p.m. East African time, 2 p.m. if you are somewhere in Namibia or the southern part of Africa, starting from Rwanda, because most of those countries are 1 hour behind compared to the time here in East Africa. Another one rolls through, and Vigrio Odeke doesn't manage to close his gates. Tom Adopo, the leading wicket taker in the tournament, manages to pick up another wicket. What a fine bowling display there from the young man.
that was a 3/4 line bowled straight at the stumps, except for Vigilio, who didn't know where to step. He had to get his wickets rearranged for him. Had he stepped close to the ball, I'm sure he'd have been able to block it or punch it away from his stumps.
Loikin Bamturaki is the new man in, working on to replace Vigirio Odeke. Loikin Bamturaki from Busawa College Mwiri, he had a fine knock, ended right in the 40s during that game that was played last Saturday at Lugogo Cricket Oval. But now he has a task of helping his team bat throughout this game. He comes in at a time when his team is in struggles, and now a lot of rebuilding job has to be done by him.
At this point, you, as a batter, you're required to keep on the wicket, play more overs, keep your bat straight. Just see off the good bowlers and wait for the bad ones, hopefully if they come, or wait for bad balls to dispatch away. You can't afford to play risky shots at this point. When you're still in the power play, you're looking for runs.
Still in the power play. This is the second last over to end the power play. 2 more balls in this over. Well guided by Roy Kinwam Turaki to point area, and he manages to take the single. Tom Adupo has been so unplayable. A fine spell started with the dot ball, single. He missed his line ball, the wide, but he managed to recover with the wicket, and now come back with the dot ball, with that single. But Tom Adupo has made sure that he doesn't give away any boundaries. 1 more ball for him to bowl in this over. He goes pace off, and the drive from Martin Iwoji was right, stopped by the fielder. And that brings us to the end of the over. 4 runs in that over, and at the end of the 5th over, scoreboard reads 22 for a loss of 3 wickets. That was the replay of the first wicket that fell, and the second one that rolled through. The first one is a run out, second one Conrad Ruama got bowled by Tom Adupo, and the third one Vigirio Odeke was also bowled by Tom Adupo. He's bowling express pace and just making sure that for all his deliveries he keeps the edges of the bat in play. Martin Woj is still on 5 off 7, and Roykin Wamturaki 1 off 1, as the Katosi strikers take a bowling change, and Kasim Adam will replace Eric Mukisa, another handed spinner. And I love the plan. The pace ball is coming from the forest end, and the spinners will be bowling from this end. Of course, these are all wicket takers, Kasim Adam and Eric Mukisa. So they will be hoping that they can get early wickets and keep the Kiyindi Blasters under strike. Final over to complete the power play. Long on and long off, right at the boundary, as Kasim Adam comes to bowl. Gets the ball turning away from the batter, and I think he should introduce a slip fielder because of that line that is bowling, because the thinking of Roykin is to follow it with the bat. That was right in the slot, and a monstrous 6. Roykin Wamturaki creating room, and he pulls that one all the way to the bunkers towards his dressing room to bring up a maximum for the Kiyindi Blasters.
that ball dropped a little bit short. He needed to have dropped it a little bit fuller. Lloyd Kane had to drop his weight backward and dispatch it off all the way for a 6 through the mid wicket. As a wrist spinner, you should be bowling with a man on the boundary and the Loikin guides the ball through the point area for a single.
Two more dot balls coming in from Kasum Adam. A bit of a leading edge there from Martin Iwoji. Sloppy pickup by the fielders Otieno Stephen. And in the end, the batters sneak through for the second run. I love the thinking for Martin Iwoji and Roykin Wamturaki. They know that they are not accessing the boundaries at the moment. And they know that the only scoring options they have are within the field. So when there is a chance for taking 2 runs, they will run very quickly and get that extra run. Kasum Adam introducing a backwards of point fielder as he comes for the final ball of the over. Full toss and driven down the ground, but a fine stop to mark the end of the over. 9 runs off Kasum Adam's first over, and as we come to the end of the power play, score reads 31 for 3 after 6 overs. Otieno Stephen, one of the few bowlers who have 4 in this tournament. Tom Adupu, the only bowler with a 5 in the tournament. But Stephen Otieno will be the bowling change. He receives so many instructions from his captain, Eric Mukisa, because he wants him to bowl a tight spell. And now the field is widespread, long on, long off, cow corner, extra cover, all at the boundary. The umpire just signaling that the power play has come to an end. 8 of 4 for Wamturaki and 7 of 10 for Woji. Creates room and plays that one, but there is a waiting fielder. Tom Adopu with the catch. And Stephen Otieno comes into the attack and pays dividends right away as he manages to pick up his first wicket.
It's been always brought in to milk wickets from such a pitch that is favoring spin. I think he started off on the right foot, doing what he's meant to do. He should have played the ball on the front foot. He didn't actually lean on it so well, hence leaving it in the air.
Yeah, Tom Adopo waiting calmly to get hold onto that opportunity for the catch. And now the Katosi strikers who are on top of the table are already in things. They've only lost 1 game and they are really having a very fine tournament. Orekin Wamturaki, they are departing, leaving early. Projected score reading 101. What a start for Stephen Otieno. The young man coming into the bowling attack, and he manages to pick up a wicket right away. So we'll be just hoping and wishing that he can continue bowling the good areas to pick up more wickets. And when you look at the overall stats of the tournament, Robert Owili is the leading runs scorer with 516 runs. Balidawa following him with 179, and Roy Kinwamtlaki, who has just fallen, has 144. Perry was on 136 and Eric Muksa 131. And on the wickets column, Tom Adup is the leading league wickets taker with 16 wickets, followed by Kasim Adam and Stephen Otieno. All these coming from the Katosi strikers. 25 matches have been played in this tournament so far. A total of 111 players. And 4,000 runs have so far been scored. Lowest team total was by the Kiyindi Blasters, who are currently in action. It was a reduced game and they managed only 18 for 4 in 5 overs. The highest individual score is 118 by Robert Owili, and Tom Adup has the best bowling figures. He bowled 4 overs, conceded 14 and picked up 5 wickets, whereas the Chitamba Sunrisers have the highest team total for the tournament, 173 for 5. Slog sweep put into play, and the fielder not putting good shifts there to stop that one. On the table, the Katosi Strikers have played 9 games and won 8. They have 16 points. Close followed by the Chitamba Sunrisers, who have put 14 points. They have played 9 games and won only 7. But the Songa Royals are in position number 3. As we see that inside out shot there by Martin Iwoji, pumping onto that full pitch delivery, and it goes all the way to the boundary. Fine looking shot. But the Kiyindi Blasters have far played games and lost all the 6 games that they have played. Currently in action, hunting for the first win, but things don't look so good for them because they have lost 4 quick wickets and they will need to rebuild their innings. Final ball of the over, dubbed down. Hesitation between the batters and the throw way wide. In the end, what would have resulted into a run out results into a dotty ball, and that marks the end. Oh, there is still a ball to play. One more before we call it an over. Cut. Work for the field that covers to do. But the miscommunication between these batters might result into a run out. It's a dot ball, and that marks the end of the over. And after 7 overs, 36 for 4 is the score. Kasim Adam back for his second over. He's given 9 runs in his first, and now he returns, beating Makomedi Yahaya. Trying to put that edge of the bat into play. Yahaya going down for a slog sweep, but rushing into that shot, and it results in a dot ball. They sneak through for the run right under the nose of that man at short fine. One more ball is the over, but it's already a fine over from Kasim Adam. He's just given away one run. That is a hit, but there is a waiting fielder. Tom Adupu squanders it away, and it goes all the way to the boundary. He went running before judging the ball, and in the end, what could have been a catch results into a boundary.
That was walked off the pads. Usually Tom Adup is one of the fielders with the softest hands. He has the biggest hands, you would say. When you see a ball going towards where he is, you'd just have to stroll out, knowing that you're out. Unfortunately, that he had to put down that one. Another chance dropped. Yeah, gets another life to live.
That boundary marks the end of the over. Scoreboard reading 41 for a loss of 4 wickets. Stephen Othieno back for his second over. He had figures of 1 for 5 in his first over, and he will be hoping that he can continue hitting those correct lines. Starts off with a dot ball. To full. Yahya Makome has been trying to go for that slog sweep, but he's not connecting. I think he is going into that shot a little early. Should take some time and wait for the ball to come. Much better. There is an appeal with a lot of conviction by the umpire. Says that's not out. That is hit into the gap. They're still managing to find the gap. Kasim Adam walking from straight of longer on, and he comes very wide, exposing that area. Three in the over so far with the 2 more balls. Dot ball from Stephen Othieno, and the end of the over. .44 for 4 is the score after 9 overs. And Stephen Othieno comes for his 3rd over. I beg your pardon, there is a bowling change. Stephen Othieno is the one who has been bowling from the other end, and Kato Malcolm is the bowler. Starts with 1 to the borderline, and Yahya Makome is still trying to go for that slog sweep, but doesn't make contact, and it's a dot ball to start off the over. Full toss, hit, and it goes down to the boundary for 4 runs. Not a very good ball coming in from Kato Malcolm, and he receives the punishment of that loose delivery. Caught and bowled. A bit flighted there by Katomalkom, the googly, paying the dividends. Yahya Makomeri being rushed into that shot, and out of excitement he plays it back to the bowler. Katomalkom held onto that one dearly, and another wicket for the Blasters goes.
That was struck powerfully. Bowled a bit short. The batter just didn't step in line to give more power to the shot, giving off a simple catch to the bowler, paying the price for that. Another mating ground there in the middle, relaying the strategy for them to seems like the strategies are coming down as planned, and they seem to be working out. Newman walks in. Still more 3 balls to play in the over.
Ashraf Andrew Hajiguju, who is also a coach with the Mukono cricket community, makes his way to the crease. He is also the captain for Africa Cricket Club, but wasn't available on match day 1. And now here he comes. .48 for 5. And the rebuilding work starts here. Katomalkom a bit a leading edge. Oh, through the hands of the fielder at covers. Stephen Othiono not getting hold onto that chance. He was not in control. And in the end, Ashraf Andrew gets off the mark. Final ball of the over. Full toss and hit down the ground. Does it go all the way? Yes. Oh no. Beautiful shift put in by the fielder, saving that one from going to the boundary. No communication between Martin Iwoji and Andrew Hajiguju. But they will be lucky that that didn't roll to the wickets.
It walked down the track to play the ball. He thought it had gone for the boundary. Unfortunately, and they only had to get one off that shot. You won't say you want to stop running when you've only seen the ball cross the boundary. But unfortunately for them, he didn't get what he expected to have gotten off that ball. 10 overs down and it's 51 for 5.
At the halfway mark, 51 for 5. It's only teams that can triple what they have at the halfway mark to the end of the innings that can win. Full toss as Stephen Otieno returns, just falling short of Eric Mukisa, who doesn't get hold onto that chance. And if they can double what they can, what they are to get in the second half of the innings, say now they have 51. If they can get more 102 runs and get to 50th at the end of the innings, maybe they'll have gotten something they can defend. Not a very good idea there from Ashuguju Andrew. Instead of going to drive, he's just trying to put his bat there.
Oh, the slow delivery from the
Edged backward of the square, and the run is taken. This time round, you could hear it from the sound of the blade of Martin Woji. He dispatches it all the way over the head of long on and manages to score another maximum. Somehow Woji has kept the fight on for the Kiyindi Blasters.
That was powerful, a strike. How was walked. He had to step away, creating his room for himself to clear that ball so easily. That was a good shot from him.
Martin Woji is now on 23 of 19. And Andrew is on 2 of 3. Shimmy down the track. He was miles away from his crease. He got excited and he fell for the trap. Stephen Otieno with the last laughter as Martin Woji is stamped, and he will be the 6th wicket to fall for the Blasters.
That was a free gift for the wicket keeper. Walked down the track in the wrong line, and you had to pay for that. You can't afford to make such a mistake at that point. You're going on so well. You're building the partnerships. Should have continued playing down the ground. Come forward, play, look for singles. Bad ball, punish boundary.
I think he got somehow excited because of the maximum he had scored previously. And he thought that if he had moved, maybe he could have made some good access. And in the end, he lands in Stephen Otieno's trap. Stephen Otieno's figures are even looking finer. He's bowled 2.5, picking up 2 wickets and conceding just 16 runs. But that's the replay. A googly coming in from Stephen Otieno. Martin Woji tried to get back to his ground but couldn't make it on time. Jonathan Nyenya, doing the wicketkeeper duties, manages to wipe off the bails. And the wicket falls in no quick time. More work to do for the Kiyindi Blasters. Every time there is a partnership which tries to start growing, there has always been ways that it's been broken. The Katosi strikers ahead of things. Ashraf Ruja is the new batter who has made his way to the crease. Another handy batter coming in for the Kiyindi Blasters. But it's now time for the rebuilding role. They'll need to make sure that they milk as many as they can in this remaining 59 balls. Stephen Othieno with just one delivery to complete this over. Projected score is 107. Swinging across the line, very risky, a bit flight in Othieno. And that marks the end of the over. 8 runs in the over, but most importantly, the wicket. And at the end of the 11th over, scoreboard reads 58 for a loss of 6. Malcolm Kato coming back for his second over. 6 for 1 in his first over. As he comes back to bowl right under the nose of Stephen Othieno. Ashraf Andrew sneaks through for the run.
At this point, they're going to try and milk out everything they can get, because they're losing out the tail. All the middle batters have been exposed, so they're going to have to.
Breakers are not really making in some good shifts with their fielding, because there are so many easy runs that are being taken by these batters. Many easy runs that are being taken in the infield. Nearly rolled on to his wickets. Ashraf will need to make sure that he steps forward and drives that ball, other than waiting for it to angle towards him, because it might be an LBW candidate. Not opening up his blade to cut.
He actually should have come forward to play through the covers, because there's a lot of space in the covers. Just drop the ball there and take a run.
Beaten by all money. And it's just a dot ball. The wicketkeeper trying to effect that stamping, but Ashraf Andrew getting back in quick time. 2 runs at the start of the over, but dot balls following it, but that's the replay. Andrew will be happy that that foot had returned back. Just dubbed to Stephen Othieno, and they snake through for the run. Stephen Othieno not putting in any fight at covers there. And as we complete the 12th over, 3 runs from that over, and 60 for 6 is the score. Othieno Stephen now coming to bowl his final over. He has so far bowled 3 overs and he has conceded 16 runs, but he has managed to pick up 2 wickets. Balls one to the leg side. But Ashraf Andrew rushing to play that shot. And it's a dot ball. Touch and go, and they sneak through for the single. Flighted ball there from Stephen Otieno trying to buy a wicket. And the batter, Luja Ashraf, knows the cunning tricks of Otieno. Doesn't give him that opportunity to take his wicket. Goes across the line and Otieno strikes. The ball rolling through and Ashraf Luja was nowhere close. That was the furniture, and the Blasters lose another wicket.
Tried to slug a ball that was straight in the stumps. Off a leg spin, I should have come forward and just played it to the onside instead of having to try so hard to walk it back on the leg side. Just come forward, drive it. At this point, you can't afford to be giving all your wickets freely like that. With still so many of us come and play, very few runs. And we know the strikers have a firepower behind them, so by the time they come in to test that score, it would look so less. The other day we saw
the new man who will be making his way to the crease is Solomon Lubama Chigozi, one of our own here in the commentary. Yesterday he was gotten without disturbing the scorers. He did post many runs, but now he makes his way to the crease. Solomon Chigozi Lubama plays for the same club as Otieno Stephen, the current bowler. So they know each other quite well. Stephen Otieno having 2 more balls to bowl in this over. And now there he comes, taking his sweet time. Solomon was in Birmingham for quite some time of years, so he loves doing his things like the English. So he comes, takes his time, making sure that he gets ready to face. And Solomon has actually also served as a coach for Stephen Otieno. Solomon has coached Otieno and both standing umpires in this game tovama kachanja and Tandeka Hope. But now there he is to do some batting roles for the team. Stephen Otieno Solomon playing on the back foot. I love the running, very quick as he manages to get off the mark.
With a kind of weight, you wouldn't expect him to run that fast. But what a good shot off the back foot. It looked lovely, playing through the covers.
Yes, Ashraf Andrew Hajuguju out of his grounds, and he perishes. Another wicket there for Stephen Otieno, and he ends his spell with a 4-for. Fine bowling figures there from Stephen Otieno, but that's the ball. A bit of a googly. Ashraf Andrew out of his ground to access that one, and in the end the stamping is effected, and the 8th wicket goes for the Kiyindi Blasters. That wicket marks the end of the over, and after 13 overs, 63 for 8 is the score. Eric Mkisa coming to bowl the 14th over. Oh, sorry, it's not Eric Mkisa. It's Kato Malcolm who will be bowling to his coach. Solomon Luwama Chigozi. Marvin Isabiri is the new batter in. And now Kato Malcolm coming in. That's not a very good idea there. Fine, it's blocked out of the block hole, but doesn't look good on the eyes. It's risky. At least a sweep shot or a slog sweep could have been better, or using his wrist to tickle that one into the gap. Full ball, but Solomon should be happy that was not in the line of the stumps, because he goes hard, but he doesn't manage to hit it, trying to take on Kato Malcolm, and it results into another dot ball. This time round he gets back to ball, But there is some brilliant fielding effort, cutting that one off. Creates room to cut, but now we are close to the ball, and it's another dot ball. And I think now Solomon is starting to overhit the ball because they are sledging him on. We need to just make sure that he puts it into the gap and he keeps on getting the runs.
He won't take matters into his own hands and finish it off quickly. Even the fact that there are no more batters left behind that, so
that is hit through a creamer through the cover area, and it runs away to the boundary. A fine looking shot at the end coming out. Solomon Chigo's just driving it through.
that was a powerful catch shot. Good by 6 of the old man playing the ball so well through the covers.
Final ball of the over coming in from Kato Malcolm. Tells him to drive, and Solomon drives through, run out chance. They throw way wide, and Solomon manages to sneak through for another run. 5 runs in the over, and that single brings us to the end of the 14th over. 67 for 8 is what the scoreboard reads.
That was smart cricket from him. Get a boundary, get a single, get off strike, go and face a new ball. A little bit of a meeting from the umpires then, trying to fix the stumps, get them so right so the game can continue. Earlier on, that was a stomping. Toma Dupuba comes back into the attack to go into ball his 4th over. He picked up 2 wickets for 12 runs in his 3 overs earlier, with Solomon Lubwama on strike, waiting to face the new bowler. Solomon there was trying to buy time. He manages to drop the single off the gully area. Takes off for a single. Solomon Lubwama with 7 of 8 balls. This is the time they're supposed to keep rotating strike, run more get to finish all their overs. That is off the body. They managed to escape through for a single, bringing Solomon Lubama back on strike. Toma Dupe has been so effective with his line and length. He's been using his height so well. He's been trying to bowl with slip fielder on there. Setting more an attacking field. Trying to set up his man so he can try hit the ball and it gets caught out. He manages to get off the ball off his pad, his leg pad. Takes off for a single. I love the fact that they're trying to keep the scoreboard ticking there. Try play out all your overs. Toma Dupe misses his line and bowls it so wide down the leg side. Balls it so full and it struck through the covers. They attempt to take another run. Well, can they make it in time? A pick of 2 of that full ball. It was a risky one, but in the end they had to get it. They will take it all with 2 hands. They'll take all of them, however much they can get. Try to get to a defendable score. One ball to come to end the 15th over. And it will be Solomon Lubama facing the last ball. $75 for 8 after 15 overs. Toma Dupe finishes with 2 for 19 in 4 overs. And still looking at a projected score of 100 runs. Toma Dupe has bowled 4 overs, gone for 0 maidens, 11 dot balls, 19 runs. It wasn't a bad spell after all. There was an appeal for a little bit, but that was off the bat. Only take off the single, bringing Solomon Bama to strike. Eric Mukisa comes back for his third over. Umpire calls wide.
That one nearly rolled through to the wickets, but Solomon were managing to keep it out of the block hole. And now they are striding on and getting some more runs. And the plan for them should be just batting out all the overs so that they see where it ends. Trying to go for that whip, but it continues down the leg. And it will be another wide in the over. Eric Mukisa coming in at this time trying to make sure that he makes a breakthrough for his team. 2 more wickets remaining before we wrap up the innings. And it goes through. Not a very good idea. I told you the plan for Eric Mukisa coming to bowl was to make sure that he gets for them a wicket. That rolls through. And Solomon Roma will have to run back to the dugout.
Eric Mukasa kept him guessing. Came forward and his feet couldn't move forward. He had to go back and play on the back foot. Unfortunately, he wasn't in line to keep that ball off the stumps. And his stumps had to go loose. What a ball from Eric Mukisa.
One more wicket to wrap up the innings. And Eric Mukisa trying to give a few basics of fielding to his teammates because they've been a bit sloppy, giving out many runs, and is just demonstrating for them how everything is done. And the final batter makes his way to the crease, finding the score at 78 for 9, and Mukisa has an opportunity of wrapping up the innings. He did 3 deliveries. That's the ball that rolled through. Solomon not in a very good frame, and that went on and hit middle stump. Dejected because he knew he had a lot of task playing for his team, but in the end he fails to carry his bat through the innings. Perished. Eric Mukisa with an opportunity to wrap up the innings. Muaga Arthur is the batter who's walked on, and that's a quick one from Eric Mukisa. Muaga Arthur going across the line, but he's made contact. That ball can quickly skid through. Hits that one in the air, and Eric Mukisa not running in his follow through to get hold onto that one. One more ball in the over. Eric Muksa trying to wrap up the innings for his side. The dot ball will mark at the end of the over. 16 gone, 78 for 9 is the score. And Adam Kasim is back with the dot ball, coming to bowl his third over. He's bowled 2 already, conceding 14 runs, and now he makes his way with the ball. And I think now the plan for the Katosi strikers is to try and make sure that they hunt for that remaining wicket so that they wrap up the innings. Dot balls there for Kasim Adam. He gets the ball angling away from the batter. Now comes in for a quick one, and that edge will give them another run. The fielder running round of the ball. They capitalize and pick up 2 runs. Again, finding the gap and work for the fielder to do. Nsubuga managing to put his body full shift and cutting that one from running away to the boundary. Some good work there done by that man. Nsubuga cutting that one off from running to the boundary fences. And there was a Tom Adup there to give him support. Well, that double marks the end of the over. 5 in the over, and 83 for 9 is the score after 17 overs. Wicket time, and the innings have come to bed. Eric Muksa returning there and just managing to roll that ball through. Marvin Issa, we know we are close to hitting that one away. 83 all out at the Kiyindi Blasters, a team that is yet to pick up victory in this tournament. They have played 6 games and lost all the 6. They will be hoping that victory goes their way, but 83 not enough. They need to look for more. The batter swinging across the line was nowhere in the frame. Timber rearranged, and Eric Muksa calls the innings to bed. And as we come to the end of the first innings, we'll be giving you the match summary shortly. That is the batting card there. Apart from the 23 of 20 for Martin Woji, who was the only batter to get double figures, there is nothing much talk from the rest of the batters. And the bowling card, as the Katosi strikers will need just 84 runs from 120 balls to pick up victory today and keep their winning streak. That is the bowling summary. Tom Adupo and Eric Muksa picked up 2 wickets apiece. Eric Muksa being the most economic with an economy of 3.90. Stephen Othieno with the second fofer in the tournament. He bowled 4 overs, considered 18, an economy rate of 4.50. Only Kasim Adam completed his 3 over spell wicketless, but Malcolm Kato picked up a single wicket. And the match summary so far for the first innings: Martin Boji 23 of 20, Yahaya Makomedi 9 of 15, Roy Kinwamturaki 8 of 5, Stephen Othieno 4 for 18 in 4 overs, Tom Adupo 2 for 19 in 4 overs, and Eric Mukisa 2 for 13 in 3.2 overs. As we come to the end of the first innings, we will take a short break and we will return with the second innings. a few highlights from that first innings of this game, where the Kiyindi Blasters have been bundled for just 83 runs in 17.2 overs, and 84 runs ended by the Katosi strikers for victory. Their innings failed to get going. Stephen Othieno picking up his first wicket. That catch was taken by Tom Adupu off the batting of Ian Bamturaki. Many nothing shots have been played. Some paid off, but some did not pay off. And the Kiyindi Blasters, the team that is still winless in this tournament, will now have another uphill task of defending 84 runs in 120 balls. Today is match day number 13, and that is the squad for the Katosi strikers. Kasim Adam captaining this afternoon, David Mukisa, Eric Mukisa, Jonathan Nyenya, Joseph Waswa, Malcolm Kato, Nathan Serunjoji, Stephen Othieno, all in there. 84 from 120 balls, and the umpires are already in the middle. Hope Tandeka standing alongside Trevor Makachanja. And the batters, Nathan Serunjoji and Eric Mukisa, right there walking on to start off the innings. It is a very hard task for them. Well, my name is Evan Cyprian Sajabi here in the comms, and I'm not alone. I have Emmanuel Tujuche right here with me. Emma, I want to put you on the spot and ask you a very hard one. What's the plan that the Kiyindi Blasters can use to pick up victory today, given the runs they have scored?
With how the wicket is playing out, I would say you have to go slow, because we looked at, if you bowl so quick, you'll get punished. But if you have express pace, it will also be an advantage that you have to tell your pace bowlers, hit three quarter line, and definitely it will pay off. Let them face more balls. The more dot balls you have on your side, you put them on pressure. You at least the run rate starts dropping. Yeah, and they should be able to win.
And I tell you now, they should be hoping that as they squeeze in those dot balls, they can manage to pick up some early wickets. Roy Kin Wamturaki will be opening the bowling from the forest end. Will be coming in for the first over. Eric Mukisa will take a guard first. 84 runs from 120 balls this afternoon. Fine leg, standing very wide, and the Straiter third man are the two that are reading the boundary for Roykin Bamturaki. Ian Roykin plays for Wanderers Cricket Club, same club with Eric Mukisa. Bamturaki coming in for the first ball of the innings. These two have also started from the same school, Roy Keane and Eric Mukisa, Busoga College Mwiri. Nathan Serunjoji studies from St. Cornelius SS Kalagara, right in the neighborhood of where this game is being played. He's done a lot of his training from this very ground. And here he comes for the first ball. It will be wide. Sharp outswing coming in from Ian. He feels that Eric Mukisa moved, and maybe that imaginary wide lane could also move further. Dejected a bit by that call, but the umpire's call will stand.
There's been so many instances where we've seen bowlers challenge umpires when it comes to wide lines. Every time a batter shifts, the wide line also shifts as well.
Yeah, but not a very bad plan from Ian. He just needs to keep bowling that same area and keep the pressure on. There was width to cut, and that is cut powerfully. It rolls all the way to the boundary, and the first runs off the bat from Eric Muksa is a boundary 4 into the surface and wide, giving him arms. Muksa throws everything at it and manages to pick up that boundary.
He loves playing a lot with width. Give him anything outside off stump, it will be more of a gift to him. Most of his runs usually come off playing the square drive, square cut, and he played so well when he put it on the pad.
He goes again to cut, but misses, and it's a dotty ball. Already 5 runs in this over. 79 needed. Bounce off the surface as that also goes past the wicket keeper, and the umpire indicates by runs. I love that delivery there from Roy Kinwamturaki, coming hard and hitting the deck hard, just extracting something out of the surface. Unlike the earlier delivery that went for 4, it was a slow bouncer with a lot of width on the offer and hit to the fences. But now Nathan Serunyoji will be taking guard. One angling in. They appeal for the LBW, but the umpire says it's by runs.
Oh, that was one good delivery. With his action, angles it back inside. He dropped two balls on the 3/4 line, and he had to extend that one inside. It's smart thinking.
At this time round, that's well placed into the gap by Eric Mukisa, and he manages to take the run.
I'd say he's thinking so smart. The fact that he's trying to keep the scoreboard ticking, don't try to hit the ball so much. Tickled that off his pad.
Full toss. Yoka length coming in from Ian Wamturaki, and it will be a dot ball to mark the end of the over. 6 runs coming off the first over, and 8 for none is the score. More 76 runs needed in 114 balls. That is the equation there. 76 in 114. Conrad Ruwama will be bowling the second over of the game. Some sledging coming in from some of the fans saying that Conrad Ruwama doesn't turn the ball. Quite interesting banter to see here. Just a friendly banter. Nothing much, no love lost with that. But 76 in 114. And Conrad Ruwama has deployed Longo on and Longo off, but Longo on is standing so wide, whereas Longo off is standing straighter. He will start with the wide one, and the batters managed to run through for 2 runs. Not a very good start to the over. by Conrad Rubwama. He starts by giving away 3 runs. A bit costly. They're not dealing with so many runs, so they need to keep bowling the good areas and keep the pressure on. Closing in on his bat, and it's a dot ball. That should be the area for Rubwama to bowl, but he needs to bowl it a little bit closer to the batter, because if he gives him width, he might be pumped on. A beautiful. But Eric Muksa managing to squeeze it through the cover. 2 men, but it will run safe. That man chipping in the throw in a metal pole is also another option of pace bowlers that they can use in this game. He bowls some good pace ball, some good pace. So they will be hoping that he comes later in the innings. One quickly to the pads. There was an appeal, but clearly going down the leg. It's by runs. Seven runs off the over so far. I beg your pardon, 8 with that previous single. Full toss and inside out shot by Eric Muksa. It goes all the way to the boundary. A maximum coming in from Mukisa Eric all the way to the fences.
First maximum of the over, of the innings as well. That was well executed. Leaned towards the ball. Ball was so wide.
And now an extra cover fielder is introduced. Longo on comes in. Now 2 fielders outside. A longo off and extra cover. Swinging but going across the line and misses on that googly. It passes close to the wickets. Conrad Ruama's first over has gone for 14. And at the end of the second over, runs are in full flow. 23 for no loss. It beat him for all money, that delivery. Loikin Bamturaki coming back to bowl his second over. His first over went for 6. And he will be hoping for even a much better spell. But he starts off with a wide. Some good work there by the wicketkeeper Vigirio Odeke, chipping in the dive to cut that one off from running away. Current run rate is 12 and required is just 3. Clearly, those statistics tell you that the Katosi strikers are really in a rush of wrapping up innings. This is match day 13 of the SABULA Cricket T20 Challenge Cup happening here at Florida Cricket Oval. It's a clash between the Kiyindi Blasters and the Katosi Strikers. The Blasters won the toss and opted to bat first, but the decision has backfired because they didn't get enough runs. But that is good coming in from Loikin. Good line, good length, good control, and it's just a dot ball. More 60 runs needed from 107 balls. That awkward bounce off the surface will take that one past the lines, and it's wide, being indicated by the umpire. More runs. And when you look at the total that they posted, the Kiyindi Blasters, they do not afford giving away wides. They need to keep bowling the good areas, put the wickets into play, make sure that the batters are scoring runs off the bat. Right in the area, and Nathan Serunjoji plays it away. There was some work to do by Ashraf Handru Ajuguju, but that runs all the way to the boundary. Nathan Serunjoji gets off the mark with the boundary. Closing up in his bat and managing to put it into the gap, and it runs away to the fences. The chase from Ashraf Andrew falling in vain as that ball was traveling. Morning drizzles, but later on the sun has come out to dry the surface, and at the moment Florida Cricket Oval is very electric. He tries to cut, but that's a much better lane and length from Bamturaki. Keep it with that fourth stump lane and keep the batter guessing. No room for him to play that one, but he manages to put it into the gap and bring up another single. This tournament is proudly sponsored by Kingsley Children's Medical Center, Deep End Sports Media, Mukono Cricket Community, and Cricket Uganda being part of the organizers for this tournament. Eric Mukisa still on 16 off 9, and Nathan Serunjoji is on 5 off 7. Width to cut, and that is cut very nicely. Just goes through the field and runs all the way to the boundary. Eric Muksa brings up another boundary. There was width, and Eric Muksa pumping onto it, sending it to the fences, and more runs coming onto the board for the Katosi strikers. One more ball to play in the over. Pace off, and it's driven down the ground. They do take the run. Eric Muksa turning down the second run. And as we come to the end of the third over, 35 for no loss is the score, and more 49 are needed from 102 balls. Conrad Rwama coming back for his second over. His first over went for 14 runs, and now he returns. He is using extra cover and long off at the boundary. That's a full toss coming in from him, and work for Solomon to do, but he manages to collect that one very nicely, cutting off a certain boundary. Nearly putting the edge into play, and it's another dot ball for Conrad. Flighted, but hit over the head of Mwaga Arthur at mid-on. Conrad were trying to buy a wicket. For Eric Mukisa, long on. Stays in, long off and extra cover. Go to the boundary. Full toss. Eric Mukisa trying to pounce onto it. But it just results into another dotty ball because it doesn't make any good contact. Two more balls in the over. Should be wide, yes. Not anywhere close to the batter, and the umpire calls that one wide. Right in the slot and hit over the head of mid wicket all the way to the boundary. Eric Mukisa taking the liking at the bowling of Conrad Ruama, and he manages to bring up a boundary in this over. Started as a fine over, but Eric Mukisa going down on one knee for that slog sweep, and he hits it all the way to the boundary. Vacant area, all the fielders in the inner circle. Final ball of the over. Full toss and hit. Square of the wicket, but brilliant effort there put in by that man in Yahya Makomere, cutting off the boundary. 2 more runs taken, and that marks the end of the over. Scoreboard reading 44 for no loss as we come to the end of the 4th over. But that's the effort there from the young man, the anticipation. He knew he was near the boundary, but he manages to keep that one in. A first wicket stand of 44 runs already here. A bowling change will be taken by the Kiyindi Blasters. Paul Emetu, who recently signed for the Chennai Cricket Club, will be the bowling change. Coming in to bowl from the Forest end. Pamturaki bowled 2, and now the mantle has been given to Paul Emetu to carry on the match. 40 needed in 96. Current 2.50 required. Way below that, work to do by the fielder backward of the square. Half dive effort there from Isavidia Marvin. And the batters getting the extra second run. That one going down the leg, but it was a good ball because he wanted to put that edge into play. And Nathan Serjoji trying to whip it off his hip, but the umpire judges it wide. And the deficit still reducing for the team. More 37 needed in 95 for victory. It will take them many wickets. 8 of 10 with 1 boundary, 4 at a strike rate of 8. Nathan Serjoji. There was Widith. He tries to go for that cut shot, but in the end, Mwaga Arthur gets hold onto that opportunity. Good anticipation there by the fielder, standing slightly backward of point. And in the end, they get the breakthrough. Paul Emetu coming into the bowling attack, and he manages to pick the first wicket for the Kiyindi Blasters. And that's the replay there right in your frame. Bowled into the surface. Trying to cut it away, but doesn't get it over the head of Arthur Mwaga. Mwaga Arthur takes the catch, and the Blasters lose their first wicket. Paul Emetu is the man to go, but already the game moving in the favor of the Kiyindi Blasters. They have 47 for 1 after 4.2 overs, and they need just more 37 runs in 94 balls to pick up victory. Jonathan Nyenya is the new batter who has walked on to replace Nathan Serunjoji. Trying to go for a slower, but misses the line and it's wides. Nyenya, Jonathan, and Paul Emetu started from the same school, St. John's High School, Kauga. Nyenya Jonathan is a wicket keeper batter, and now he comes in to try and make sure that he gets some more runs for his side. He goes to drive, but misses that one completely. And it's a dot ball for Paul Emetu. Leading edge nearly carried to the fielder, but it results into a dot ball. Fine work there put in by Makomeri Yahaya, standing right in the line of fire at covers, but managing to cut off the run. Beautifully placed to Mwaga Arthur. Brilliant stop, and no run is taken. One more ball to play in the over. Not a very bad over in the contest of the game. A wicket falling, and only 4 runs have so far been given away by Paul Emetu. They will need many overs like this one if they are to pick up something from this game. Good use of the wrist, finding that gap at mid-wicket and getting the run. And that single marks the end of the over. 5 for 1 in Paul Emetu's first over. And that single brings up the 50 runs as we come to the end of the 50th over. I beg your pardon. It leaves the score at 49 for 1 after 5 overs. One more run for them to reach that milestone, but they need just 35 more in 90 balls for victory. Conrad Wama returning for his third over and manages to start with a dot ball. Another one full. He is asking the batters to drive. A quicker one to the edge of the bat. And another dot ball. Goes for a googly. Jonathan Nyenya nearly edging that one. He went early into the shot, and the ball took plenty of time to roll onto him, creating room to hit that one to that vacant area at mid-wicket, and they sneak through for the run. Beautiful placement there by Jonathan Nyenya. One more ball in the over, and it's already a good over for the Blasters. Just one run in that over, as Conrad Wama wraps it up with the dotty ball. That one run brought up 50 runs for the team as we came to the end of the power play. And after 6 overs, 50 for 1 is the score. More 34 runs are needed from 84 balls. There's a bowling change coming in for the Kiyindi Blasters. Ashraf Andrew Hajuguju is the new bowler coming in. He tosses up balls but always manages to get dot balls. But it will be a single play down the ground by Jonathan Nyenya. Eric Mukisa on 28 of 16. Just making sure that he sticks in until his side crosses the line. Robert Ajuna and Kithan Amani missing in today's fixture for the strikers. Beautifully driven through covers. Work for the extra cover to do. The half dive put in there by Emetu Paul, not so convincing. And Eric Muksa manages to rotate strike. Very well crafted batting innings for the Katosi strikers as they keep chasing. He creates room and he plays it to the deep mid wicket. Solomon Duamachi goes with the clean up job because they know he has an injury in the shoulder. When they see him get the ball, they try and take on his arm. The batter's running very beautifully and picking up 2 runs. Creates room to cut. There was an appeal for the run out, but the umpire says no. 2 more runs in the over. Longer on and longer off. Deep mid wicket, extra cover. And the cow corner at the boundary for Eric Muksa because the power play is done, meaning they have the liberty of using all the fielders outside. That is a hit. There is a fielder. Sechito Mahadi putting the opportunity down. Running early and he squanders it away. Very unfortunate that he didn't hold onto that opportunity. And what could have been a wicket results into a run. One more ball in the over by Ashraf Andrew Hajuguju. Placed into the gap. And yes, they will take the run. 7 in Andrew's first over. And after 7 overs, 57 for 1 is the score. Conrad Ruwama will bowl his 4 overs on trot. He's coming in for his final over. Edged. And they take the run. There has not been any quick reaction coming in from the Kiyindi Blasters. So many easy runs have been taken. Their fielding has been quite sloppy. They are not fielding like a team that can pick up victory. Eric Muksa going down for that big swing. There was an appeal of LBW, but clearly that ball going down the leg, and the umpire Trevor Makachanja says that's not out. Luama still hunting for a wicket. She'll be down the track, but beautiful thinking there from Conrad Luama, bowling it wide of him. Eric Muksa manages to get contact and he goes for that single. Off the pads and misfielded by Isayude Marvin. The ball was traveling and it goes all the way to the boundary. 4 runs added onto the total. Jonathan Nyenya whipping it off his pads. Fast traveling, and the Youngs are not putting in the best basics. And that run is all the way to the boundary. Forcing it into the gap, and they take the run, and that single marks the end of the over. It also marks the end of Conrad Luama's quarter. He has gone for 31 runs in his 4 overs, and at the end of the 8th over, 64 for 1 is the score, and more 20 runs are needed in 72 balls. Ajuguju Andrew Ashraf back for his second over. His first over went for 7 runs, and now he returns. Inside out shot, but just manages to get it over Conrad Luama, and they do take the run. A bit cunning there from Hajuguju. And now for Eric Mukisa. Mid off goes down. Extra cover is introduced into play. Shimmy down the track. He was miles away. And Ashraf Andrew Hajuguju manages to get rid of the dangerous Eric Mukisa. Eric falling for 31 of 21. A late effort coming in from Ashraf. He went for that turn. Eric Mukisa getting out of his crease to make full access of the ball. And in the end, the wicket keeper, Vigirio, getting hold of the ball, effecting that stamping. And they do lose another wicket. He needed to keep in the line of the ball or even stay in his crease. There was no need for him to jump out. Still that replay of that stamping there. The wicketkeeper just getting hold of the ball. And Eric Mukisa miles away, not managing to get back to his ground. More 19 runs needed in 70 balls for the Katosi strikers to pick up victory. Kasim Adam, the man nicknamed the Kadanke, is the new batter in, walking in to replace Eric Mukisa. Adam Kasim, the new man in, places that one in the gap, beautiful, and he gets off the mark right away. Just putting in that single. $18 runs from 69 balls. Deep mid wicket going down for Jonathan Nyenya. Stepping away from the line of the ball, you need to just get closer and play it through that cover area. There is no extra cover, so it means that anything that goes past the fielders at extra cover, he has a chance. There was an appeal of LBW, but the umpire says no, that's not out, and signals leg byes. There was an appeal of LBW and the finger goes up. Dejected Kasim Adam, but in the end he will have to make the long walk back to the heart. Another wicket in the over. A wicket to wrap up the over by Andrew. 17 more runs needed in 66 balls. And that's the replay for that wicket. Shuffling across the stumps, but clearly that ball was missing down the leg. The impact right outside. But the umpire raising up the finger, and Kasim Adam dejected as he walks back. 17 more needed in 66 balls. maybe we might see a turning moment in this match. But Tom Adupu is the new batter making his way to the crease. Somehow they have kept the pressure on. Mahad Sechito is the bowling change coming in to bowl the 10th over from the road end. That rolls to the pads and the umpire raises up the finger. Comedy of errors, 2 back-to-back LBWs, and the Katosi strikers lose 2 quick wickets. Clearly that was dead plumb, shuffling across the stumps, and that ball could have gone on and hit the wickets. Right call there from the umpire, though Jonathan Nyenya walked on dejected. "17 more runs needed in 65 balls, and I think it might be the moment this game turns 17 in 65 for the Katosi strikers to pick up victory, and I think it's time for the Kiyindi Blasters to tighten up the screws and make sure that they force something out of nothing. These are some of the Manhattans of this match. Runs were in full flow until there started coming turning moments. Stephen Othieno is the new batter in. Stephen Othieno with work to do. 2 new men at the crease, Tom Adupu and Stephen Othieno. 17 more runs needed. Edged backward of the square, and Stephen Othieno manages to take the run. A fine over comes to an end. Just one run in the over and a wicket. And 68 for 4 is the score after 10 overs. Leading edge and chance to catch. Many fielders running, a comedy of errors. There was another chance of the run out, but it is not as well taken. The game inching closer. The exciting finish. Somehow the Katosi strikers crumbling under pressure. Driven, but doesn't hit it into the gap. Another dotty ball. Flighted by Ashraf Andrew and fumbled by the fielder. But from Adopu, fearing to take on the risk, it's another dotty ball. The Kiyindi Blasters hoping that they can wrap up things here. Another dotty ball in the over. A single off the first ball, 3 dot balls in the over, and looking forward to tomorrow. Match day number 14. Senior Warriors will be taking on Nsonga Royals in the morning. And the Chitamba Sunrisers will take on the Kachanga Giants in the afternoon. Then before we take the break, the Kiyindi Blasters will be in action on Friday, taking on the Kachanga Giants. And the Katosi Strikers take on the Nsonga Royals. The weekends are rest days. Then we'll be having the semi-finals and the finals of this tournament. The top 4 teams will be taking part in that interesting bend of this deep end. And at the end of the over, 69 for 4 is the score. 15 runs needed in 54 balls. Martin Woji coming back for his second over. His first over went for just 1 run and he picked up a wicket in that over, and now he comes in to tighten the screws again. The fielders standing in and hoping they can catch something, putting some pressure on Stephen Othieno. Othieno not managing to work that one away. He's having a taste of his own medicine. But that's a dot ball. That's the only issue so far in the game. The wides have been coming in quick and thick. So they will need to organize those lines and lengths. That is hit to the square leg side. And the fielder putting in the dive. There is a run out chance. Finger goes up and Stephen Othieno has run himself into traffic, running off a misfield, and he pays for the price. Another one goes, another wicket. Stephen Othieno moving out dejected, but that's the replay. Stephen Othieno playing the ball backward of the square. A misfield on the first attempt. The batters communicating on different networks. The station, you clearly see them. In the end, they thought they could make their grounds. Odeke getting the ball and wiping off the bells. And the fourth wicket goes. More 14 needed for victory. But I tell you, This game is becoming more and more exciting because so many errors are being done by the batting team, giving advantage to the team fielding. They didn't score many runs, but this game is turning out to be exciting. They are still fighting and keeping alive in this game. The Kiyindi Blasters, who are still searching for the first victory. 70 for 5 is what the scoreboard reads. Kato Malcolm is the new batter in, replacing Stephen Othieno. $14 runs in 52 balls for victory. But the game starting even to be more exciting. Newman in, Malcolm Kato. Showing that he's watching the ball very nicely. Conrad Wama going close to the blade of Kato Malcolm. Interesting. Kato Malcolm being teased so that he can give away his wicket. What an exciting game that we have on the cards. He backs away to cut, but that Andrew coming for his final over. And he starts off with a dot ball. That is a hit into the gap there by Malcolm Kato. Chance for them to pick 2 runs. Fumbled by the fielder, and yes, they run and pick up the second run. Good work there being done. The 2 runs reduced the deficit to 11 in 46. Another dot ball there from Andrew. 2 dot balls. Dot ball And one more ball for Ashraf to complete his spell. Bamturaki standing very close to the blade of Malcolm Kato. Backs away and it's a dot ball. That dot ball marks the end of the over. More 11 needed in 42 balls and 73 for 5 is the score after 13. Martin Woji coming for his third over. He's so far bowled 2 overs. He's considered 3 runs and he's picked up 1 wicket. And now he comes in. Tom Adupu still yet to get off the mark. He is on 9 off 9. All the fielders standing in the 30 yards to keep the pressure on. Martin Woji coming to bowl to Tom Adupu. Flighted ball and played down the ground. Just playing safe shots and not taking any risks. But this game can swing in any direction. Hit there by Tom Adupu, just getting it off the pads and he manages to get the run. That reduces what is required to 10 for the Katosi Strikers to pick up victory. And Conrad Ruama returns to Sile. Another dot ball for Martin Woji. Swings hard, inside out shot. It nearly carried to the fielder, but in the end the opportunity squandered away. They run for the second one. Solomon Wama not getting hold onto that opportunity. 2 runs are taken, and now what is required is under single digits. More 8 runs in 38 balls. What an exciting finish. We are headed for edged and gone. The slip fielder taking the catch. Ashraf Andrew Hajuguju and Kato Malcolm, who looked like he was the batter to get the runs, perishes. The Katosi Strikers lose the 6th wicket. 8 more runs needed in 38 balls. 5 of 13 for Kato Malcolm, and that's the wicket ball. Just turning it away from him. He came to drive, but didn't come with conviction. Just a little further, thick outside edge, and the catch taken at slips. Flatted and full, the drive, the deviation, and the catch taken to see him off. The 6th goes, and Kato Malcolm is the last one to depart. One more ball to play in the over. The game heading to an exciting finish. Martin Woj with a fine spell. He's bowled 2.5 overs and conceded just 6, picking up 2 wickets. And now he'll be coming in for the final ball. 8 runs needed for victory. Inside out shot. There's a run out chance. But you feel that somehow the fielders are not putting in the proper shift. And it will be just a single to mark at the end of the over. What is required is now 7 in 36. And 77 for 6 is the score as we come to the end of the 14th over. Ashraf Luja is the bowling change. Ashraf Andrew Ajuguji's spell has come to an end. And now Luja will be the other spinner coming in to bowl. Joseph Waswa has shown that he is the batter who can hit the ball. 77 for 6 and more 7 runs needed in 36 balls for victory. All the fielders are inside the circle for more pressure. Starts with a short ball, turn and bounce off the surface, and it's a dot ball to start off his over. Swinging across the line on a ball that is drifting away from him. If he had opened up the blade, he had a chance. The fielders are standing close, but you can find a way of squeezing it through. Inside out shot. There is a man and another catch is taken. Solomon Duamachigozi getting hold onto that opportunity. And the 7th wicket goes. More 7 runs needed in 35 balls. The lights are being dimmed out by the Kiyindi Blasters. The Blasters hunting for the first win in the tournament, and that is the wicket ball. Bowling it to the body. Waswa swinging, but not getting his bat off the body. In the end, he just manages a catch, and Solomon Wama does the rest. Look at the celebration there from that man, stylish, the man from Birmingham, putting up the show as he gets hold onto that chance. More havoc being put onto that batting lineup. They've lost 7 wickets. 7 more runs needed in 33 balls. But now the issue is the rate at which they are losing wickets. The Katosi strikers. Sheer favorites in this game. But the game now shifting. Swinging both ways. David Muksa is the new batter in, player for Africa Cricket Club, but making his way to the crease to do some batting for his side. 7 runs needed in 33 balls as David Muksa makes his way to the crease. Ashraf Luja still coming in with that spin. The Kiyindi Blasters, who are yet to test victory, have now put up a show. Flighted and closed in by That man there, David Mugisa. And the dugout is telling him that he's playing well because at least that bat was coming from the meat. Inside out shot. Power coming in from David Mugisa. He plays it over the head of the fielder and they run through for the second one. Good running. And the deficit reduces to 5. One more ball to play in the over. A shot out of anger. And Conrad Rwama runs in quickly and tells Ashraf Luja, don't ball it quick. Just go pace off. We are really headed for an interesting match. Final ball of the over. And it's a dot ball to mark at the end of the over. 5 balls needed in 31 runs. I beg your pardon, 5 runs needed in 31 balls as we come to the end of the 15th over. 79 for 7 is the score. Some of the Manhattans, they were real cruising the Katosi strikers until the lights started dimming out. They just need a run per over to pick victory as Mahadi Sechito comes to bowl his final over. Tom Adupo will be the man to take strike. 5 more runs needed for victory. Five in 30 balls as Martin Boji returns. Martin Boji has so far bowled 3 overs. It rolls through wicket time. He never saw it coming right through the gates. And Martin Boji picks up another one. The 3rd wicket for him. Tom Adupo on the stand and deliver as that creeper went through. He will go out smiling, but then he didn't help his team to finish the job. Another wicket goes, and 78 for 9 is now what the Katosi strikers have on board. Flighted and full, but that sharp turn, vicious turning inwards for Tom Adupu. He goes to drive, but misses the ball. And the timber is rearranged. 5 more needed in 29 with 2 wickets at hand. But I tell you, the game is headed for an interesting clash because anyone can win this game from here on. The Kiyindi Blasters are still hunting for the first victory in this tournament. And now they will have to make sure that they bat well. And I tell you, it's becoming loud here because the fans have started picking sides. 79 for 8, more 5 needed in 29. The issue will be with how they deal with the wicket column. Eric Muksa started the run chase very well. He was comfortable with the bat. And when he perished, the game has started swinging towards the side of the Kiyindi Blasters. Newman Grace making his way to the crease. A lot of work to do for them. Going to sweep. That might have gone down. There are appeals. The young man not keeping in his wicket. The finger goes up. And Grace will have to depart. He didn't take care of where he was standing. And in the end, he perishes. One more wicket for the Kiyindi Blasters to finally pick up victory. Solomon Luamachogo is organizing his troops because he feels that his side is headed for an interesting clash. The team at the bottom of the table wants to topple down the team on top of the table. Standing outside, clearly there, he didn't take care of where he was standing. And it's another dismissal. 79 for 9. One more wicket for the Kiyindi Blasters to pick up victory. And 5 more runs needed by the Katosi strikers to win this afternoon. Odeka Vigrio showing the umpire that Yash was standing out. That he was standing out. And the umpire clearly seeing. Another one goes. And the last batter, Yusuf, will have to make his way to the crease to continue batting for his team. What a game we've had on the cards this evening here at Florida Cricket Oval. A comment of errors. A game that the Katosi strikers could have won comfortably has been squandered away. The final man, Yusuf, makes his way to the crease, and this is the wicket that the Kiyindi Blasters do need. Boji to Yusuf. Headed for an interesting one. He is asking for leg stump. And the umpire trying to tell him on where to stand. And another catch is taken. That is the moment they have been waiting for. And finally the Kiyindi Blasters pick up victory. You clearly see them celebrating there because they have finished the job. Wickets are falling in succession and finally they get off the mark. It took them 6 games to pick up the first win. And in the end, that is the winning moment. Celebration moment. You clearly see it from their faces. It's been a fight. Wickets falling in quick succession. Yusuf no of the waiting fielder. Roy Kinvam Turaki gets hold onto that opportunity and the way of the Kiyindi Blasters as they finally pick up the first victory in this tournament. They win by 4 runs. What an exciting match we've watched this evening. If there was a game that has really interested the fans and all people are coming here to watch these games, this is it. Good work done by the Kiyindi Blasters as they made shifts and made things work in their favor, picking up the 4 runs victory. And as we get to look at that match summary, as they won by 4 runs, the Kiyindi Blasters won the toss and put it to bat first, and the plan worked out for them, but that is the batting card. Eric Mukisa started comfortably, scoring 31 of 21. The only support that came in from him was Jonathan Nyenya's 14 of 21. The rest of the batters not contributing. 14 extras given away by the Kiyindi Blasters. I beg your pardon, by the Katosi Strikers. Sorry, by the Kiyindi Blasters, but they will have themselves to blame. The Katosi Strikers, who looked comfortable after the first innings, didn't manage to pick up victory. A fifer for Martin Iwoji at an economy rate of 1.75, where he's bowled 4 overs, conceding just 7 runs, has been the turning moment for this game. 1 wicket apiece for Paul Emeju. Managed to pick up 2 wickets as well. The match summary there right in your frame. Martin Iwoji 23 of 20. Yahaya Makomeri 9 of 15. Roy Kinamdulaki 8 of 5. Stephen Othiono's fofa in the batting innings of the Kiyindi Blasters. Didn't see him cross that line. Eric Mukisa's fighting 31 of 21 and 14 from Nyenya. Didn't help the Kiyindi Blasters win this game. And as we come to the end of this game, I'd love to tell you tomorrow's fixtures because action continues. And looking forward at tomorrow's fixtures in just a bit. 2 exciting games will be on the cards. And in the morning it will be Senyu Warriors taking on Nsonga Royals. Chitamba Sunrisers will take on Kachanga Giants tomorrow. So make sure you keep it deep in sports media. My name is Evan Cyprian Sajabi and I will be coming to you shortly with the post-match presentation. Sembera ko Mukisa. Good evening and welcome to the post-match presentation, where the Kiyindi Blasters have finally picked up the first victory, winning that thrill by just 4 runs. But let me invite the captain for the Katosi strikers, Eric Mukisa, telling me what went wrong in the game. You were in there to bat, and you had moments where you got some runs early. But where did the game turn from and you end up squandering it away?
Yeah, I think today we lost it at the point of the batting, whereby we lost we lost around 3 wickets after I went out, and I think that was a thrill, and then the wickets started falling as early as possible. And I think this was a very good experience for us as the strikers, because we've had a very good strike of the wins that we've been getting. But then we thank God that we've at least gotten this as an experience for us and the youngsters as well. As a good experience for us to always expect that things can change, but we have to come back stronger for the next game.
Hard luck and go well.
Thank you.
Let me invite Ian Wamturaki to come and tell me what it feels picking up the first victory after playing 7 games.
Yeah, basically, first of all, I would say we are so delighted, we are so happy, we are so delighted about our first win in the tournament. Basically, that's what we are fighting for, not leaving the tournament with at least 1 win. Yeah, so we are so happy, we are so delighted. So the boys, after the last catch, everyone was jumping all over the stadium, showing that happiness of our first win in the tournament.
How do you hope to improve your team going forward to try and make sure that you can win another game going forward in the tournament?
Yeah, basically we're hoping to improve on the fielding side, because before the game started we told the boys that we don't need any dropping, any catch today, because catches win matches, we all know that. So we're hoping on improving on the fielding side. That's how we won the game, by the not dropping catches, coming in, getting in the twos, not allowing the singles on the pitch. So that's how you go to the win.
Thank you so much and all the best, Ian.
Yeah, thank you.
Go and enjoy the win. And now the player of match, a man who scored 23 runs and picked up a FIFA. Martin Woji will take away that, and to give out the word is the match umpire, Hope Tandeka. Thank you so much, Hope. Martin, stay around for a few words. You can hand over the award to him and the ball. Thank you. Congratulations, Martin. What was it? What was going on through your head as we were bowling?
I just relax so that I bowl well, and only to bowl straight balls and to bowl that ball which stands, and just to calm down as a person while I'm bowling.
What does this win mean to you and to the entire team?
That we should not give up in any game.
Thank you so much and enjoy. Well, we've come to the end of the post-match presentation, but tomorrow action continues in the SABULA. Make sure that you keep it deep end, because we'll be having more action coming to you tomorrow. It's a wrap up for now.